Hey, Blaine.
How's it going, sir?
You might be a cop.
Don't get away without me introducing to my wife.
Oh, I talked to her, yeah.
Oh, did you recognize her?
No, but I knew who your wife was, so we talked about it.
He was not there. I was there. I saw it. He voted to impeach Trump twice on a bunch of BS. The Trump family has gone through hell to help this country. Don Jr.'s coming up, and Don, to you and your family, I'm sorry you had to do what you had to do and to have to suffer the way you've had to suffer. Well, that's about over. The American people, you get a mulligan here. We're going to fix this. And let me tell you, if you really want to fix the border, you better have somebody who will help Trump, not work against it. If you want to cut taxes, you better have somebody who believes in it, just doesn't talk about it. For everybody, including business. How many people believe that Israel is our friend? So I'm going soon, folks. The world is on fire. They turned everything Trump did on the border upside down, and we've been invaded. And that invasion is going to stop on day one. They pull out of Afghanistan, and the rest is history. And when Israel's under siege, Harris and Biden have been uncertain. No better friend of Israel than Donald J. Trump. There'll be no more reliable vote in the Senate than Bernie Moreno for our friends in Israel. The people who want to kill the Israelis want to kill you too. And if you don't get that, you missed a lot. A 9/11's coming. If we don't change it, and change it quick. This is the last best chance in my lifetime. And I could live to be 100 like Strom Thurmond maybe. To get it right. To that 10-year-old boy, if I could, I'd make you 18 right now. We need to get it right for him. And what's getting it right? Getting the culture right. Stop all this woke crap. Get back to the basics. God, country, patriotism. I just got here, but every lamppost has a veteran on it. I feel like I'm in South Carolina. We think the way you do. We respect those who are willing to die for all of us. And if President Trump comes back, and he will, he's going to turn the military back on again. Israel will have no better friend. The Ayatollah will have no worse enemy. The working man and woman will have a champion in the White House. We're going to put more conservative judges on the court. Remember Kavanaugh? Out there for him. There's more coming, folks. Now, a week from today, let's close the deal by 8 o'clock on election night in Ohio. I want the 51st seat declared by 8 o'clock. All of you voted. Get your friends to vote. If you ain't got a friend, go make one. I'm honored to be here. Bernie and his family have had everything in the world dropped on their head, and he's still standing, and he's standing tall. That's the kind of man and the kind of family you want to represent you in Washington. That's the kind of family that Donald Trump needs to help your family. This is just not about Ohio. The fate of the world hangs in a balance. We're going to turn it around or we're going to lose it. And we ain't going to lose it. All those people on these lampposts were willing to die for this country. The rest of us, we're going to work to get out the vote for this country. We're going to put a man in the Senate, Bernie Moreno, who gets it, who understands that Trump is right and Harris is a nightmare. She has no idea how to treat a job because she's never done it. And every time the liberals need her, she will be there. And every time Donald Trump needs a vote in the Senate, Bernie will be there on all the things that matter. I've been up there for a while now. I can see it, I can feel it, I can taste it. And I'm scared. Remember 2022? Let's don't let it slip away, folks. Too much is at stake. There's too much at stake. So, as goes Ohio, goes the United States Senate, goes the White House, so goes the world. No pressure on you. Get it right. And I've been here from one end of the state to the other. Most people have no idea what I'm saying because I ain't from here. And I've got an accent, but I hope you can tell what I'm saying comes from my heart. I love this country. I've spent 33 years in the Air Force. I've seen strong and I've seen weak. And what you see today is weak. What you're going to see in January of 2025 is strong. God bless you. Let's win a race we can't afford to lose. Let's get the world back in order. Let's put out these fires. Let's secure our border. Let's cut our taxes and pass on a country your kids can be proud of. I'm honored to be here for Bernie and his family. God bless you all. Let's get this one right. Senator Lindsey Graham. All right. Now, Senator, you got a pretty good state in South Carolina, but look at this state here in Ohio. And by the way, I don't think you can do this in South Carolina. Oh, wait! Hey, look at that. All right. So look, what an amazing turnout. Thank you so much, Knox County. Thank you so much for coming out. Look, we have 7 days left. I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Do you want your country back? Yeah. Do you want a country that puts your interests ahead of the interests of foreign invaders? Yeah. This country last year spent $110,000 per one illegal. That's more than twice what the average income of an Ohio family is. That's how crazy this has gotten. So let me, sometimes in the media they go, well, what's your position on this or what's your position on that? Let me make it clear. As somebody who followed the rules, who came to this country illegally, if you're in the United States of America and you're here illegally, come January 2025, you're gone. You're gone. And right here at Mount Vernon, we have a great company, Ariel. We're going to make America an energy superpower. We're going to have so much energy production that Mount Vernon won't know what to put the rest of the Ariel facilities because we're going to unleash our energy resources. And take a look at the young people here. Whether it's a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. Well, young lady, how old are you?
How old are you? 12. She's gonna live in America. If we do this right, then we'll never ask some foreign dictator for energy because we have all the energy we need right here in the good old US of A. You know what else we're gonna do next year? USA! That's right. I want to brag about my father-in-law for a second. My wife Bridget is here somewhere. Bridget, come up here for a second. She loves this. She does not love this. All right, Bridget, come on up here. You know, Bridget and I have been married for 35 years. 35 years. She never thought we'd do politics. She thought I was a little crazy. I'm going to brag about her dad for a second. Her dad grew up in Valparaiso, Indiana. He graduated from high school, went to work at U.S. Steel, worked there almost his entire life, was able to raise 3 kids in a great community, a safe community with good schools, could afford a house and a car, and now he's in Butler County, retired debt-free. That's the American dream. That's the American dream. And it's that American dream that's under attack. Try having a normal life in America today. You know, you go to McDonald's, it's supposed to be a Happy Meal. But then you look at the prices, when did McDonald's become a luxury? When did going to the grocery store become daunting? When you go to the cash register and you go, these can't be my groceries. It can't be my bill. When you have our seniors that got ripped off by the Inflation Reduction Act, which we took $300 billion out of Medicare to fund electric vehicle subsidies. Think about that for a second. Look, you can drive whatever car you want. I was in the car business. Come in and buy whatever car you want. I never had one client walk into any of my dealerships and ask me, what kind of car does Sherrod Brown want me to buy? Never had that question. And by the way, you should never have that question. You should be able to buy whatever darn car you want. Because we're in America. And if I want to have a gas stove, if I want to own Bitcoin, that's up to me, not you. Your job is to protect me, the government. And I'm standing in front of you with one simple proposition. If you do what you need to do, you go out and vote like your country depends on it. You go out and get everybody you know to go vote. If you're my voice in your community for the next 7 days, if you work hard for me, just know that I will work hard for the next 6 years to always be your voice in the United States Senate. And I'll never forget, I work for you, never the other way around. Look, this is an interesting election, right? Because we know who Sherrod Brown is. We know who he is. I mean, he's a far left liberal. We know that. Yet, all of a sudden, you turn on the TV, he works for the Republicans, which, by the way, technically true. There are buildings, in the buildings where he stops everything he's doing, picks up the phone. This is a guy who cares deeply about family, cares deeply about his family, his kids. He is one of the fiercest warriors I know. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. This guy doesn't need to be here. I mean, think about this, son of a billionaire. What do you have to do here in Knox County, Ohio, right? Something for a guy ready for Senate. But you know what? He woke up early this morning to be here. He's been a great friend, but I need you to do me a favor. I need you to show Donald Trump Jr. how much Knox County loves him. Let me introduce you, Donald Trump Jr. They have me running around. I did like 7 events in Pennsylvania. I know I'm in Ohio now. I haven't quite gone full Joe Biden yet, where I don't know where I am. It's great to be here in Alaska. But no, thank you very much, Bernie. I really appreciate it. And a lot of people, even the campaign people, said, Don, why are you going to Ohio? It's not a swing state. It's MAGA country. And it is. But the reality is this. We need a full slate of Republicans. Republicans in office to help my father. We've seen that. Right? We've seen Donald Trump can be president, but you have a bunch of rhinos or weaklings or Democrats, and they'll stop the most powerful guy in the world. They'll censor him, they'll smother, they'll put words in his mouth, they'll pretend he said something he didn't say, or they'll just outright lie to you. We need people like Bernie in there fighting. And again, I've watched the ads, right? I see this stuff. I'm kind of a political junkie at this point. You see the ads. If I didn't know any better, if I didn't know his voting record was literally almost 100% with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, right? Because the media is also pretending that Kamala Harris doesn't have a record. She started her political career in the most democratic coup ever last month. She's a radical San Francisco liberal. She had the most leftist voting record in the history of the United States Senate. Again, they're going to cover that. They're going to hide it from you. They're doing the whole, she's going to be a moderate. Right? Moderate. Like, she's the daughter of a Marxist professor, just so we understand, right? The apple usually doesn't fall that far from the tree. If she became a moderate, that would be like Donald Trump Jr. waking up one day and being like, soft. You know, that's not going to happen. So we have to make sure we have people who are willing to be warriors, actually fighting with my father, fighting with him for you, for our freedom, for everything that's at stake. And guys, if you've been listening to them, you realize that is literally everything. Everything is on the table. How many Democrats in the last 2 weeks have you heard them talking about that pesky First Amendment, you know? We really got to regulate that to stop misinformation. Hillary Clinton, you know, the crazy people, all the people who actually pushed real fake news, Russia, 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 all of the nonsense around COVID. Those are the people that they want to be the arbiters of truth, but they're the biggest liars in the world. So we have an incredible opportunity here, not just to make some gains in the Senate and the House to allow my father's agenda to go forward, but look at the team of people that have now finally been able to come out, surround my father, all walks of life, all political affiliations, right? When you talk about it now, you got Tulsi Gabbard coming over. How about Democrat royalty, RFK Jr.? Think about that. Now, we may not agree on everything, but we agree on so many things, and we also understand that he has a skill set that would be incredible. Put him at the FDA, put him at HHS, so we finally know what we're feeding our kids. And could put an end to the nonsense and the big dollars that are making sure we never see that stuff. And then the ultimate. Because if we really want to fight for Americans and use your taxpayer dollars wisely, how about we put the Einstein of our era, Elon Musk? I mean, in a couple years, this guy's outperforming NASA with a 75-year head start in the space race. As a private citizen, funded privately. I mean, think about that. We have the opportunity to have that fix so many of the things that we all know are so broken in our government. Now, the other side, you have Kamala Harris, who can also barely complete a sentence. It's like, that was like the unifying theme of this administration. And Tampon Tim. Now, sorry guys, remember this one? It started like 3 weeks ago. MAGA is afraid of Tim's masculinity. I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I haven't seen a wrist that limp in a long time, and I grew up in New York City. But, you know, he's a big shooter and a hunter, right? Yeah. He's a hunter and a shooter like Kamala Harris owns a Glock. And I know that because it should not take 47 seconds for him to load an autoloader on a fake pheasant hunt. Like, yeah, if you're a shooter, you know how to load a semi-auto. It's just not that hard, right? You drop They'll do it over and over again, and that's the thing. It's not like we're in an equal fight, right? You see the nonsense they're pushing this week. It's Trump's literally Hitler, he's a fascist. I mean, I don't know. Last time you had low taxes, really low unemployment, you had lowest income earners were making gains, we were signing peace deals in the Middle East. I don't know, it's like the worst fascist ever. But they'll run with it like it's the gospel. And when you have $1 trillion in mainstream media functioning as your propaganda arm, if you have $1 trillion in big tech doing the same thing, it's easy to do that, right? If you're here right now in the middle of the day on a Tuesday for a political rally, you're into this stuff, you're paying attention, you understand what's going on. A lot of people are struggling. Okay, it's not easy, despite, again, what they tell us. Bidenomics, Biden-Harris-onomics, it ain't working for America. And I know this because even Donald Trump Jr. sees it. Bernie brought up McDonald's, and I tell a story because it seems to resonate. Last summer I was coming back from a fishing trip. I took 2 of my boys, we went fishing, we were coming back, they were hungry. They were 10 and 14 at the time, and me. And we went to McDonald's, and it was $48. Now think about that. Just so we're clear, if Donald Trump Jr., the son of a billionaire from Manhattan, had sticker shot at McDonald's, we have a serious problem, people. I'm not one of these folks that's going to virtue signal and pretend like it's going to change my habits. No, I get it. I've been blessed. I'm more than happy to be open about that. I'm very self-aware. But what's that doing to a family making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year? Bernie, you actually said it best. I'm going to steal your line. If McDonald's is a luxury, it's a problem. We can change all of that. But we're not going to change it by doing the same thing. And I know we're going to do the same thing if Kamala Harris wins because she cut and pasted the failed Biden-Harris policies and put them on her website. They didn't change anything. They even left the source code. So they're telling us all these things she's going to change. I got a question, guys. Why not start now? If you're going to change it, why didn't you start it 4 years ago? Or 3 years ago? She's the vice president to the most absentee president in the history of our nation. Someone who has literally been on vacation on the beach 41% of the time. I don't know about you, but if I told my father that I was going to be absent 41% of the time at the Trump organization, I'd be fired. I get the Cobra. The Cobra would come on strong. I get the Cobra from The Apprentice. I'd be fired, and rightfully so. So that's even before you get into the dementia, right? So you have the most absentee president in the history of the United States. You create the opportunity for the most powerful vice president, right? You fill that void. And yet she didn't. She's going to wait conveniently while Americans suffer. Whether it's what went on in North Carolina and Tennessee and Georgia where you got a $750 loan if you lost your home, your business, or a loved one. But don't worry, holy grail of politics, right? Everyone talked about it. No one can achieve anything because you can't send someone who's never made a deal in their lives to go negotiate one of the biggest deals ever. That doesn't work, right? You watch our politicians, if Joe Biden pulled up in an Uber to bring you to get pizza with your kids, like you're not letting him get in the car, right? But you're going to give that guy the nuclear codes and the ability to negotiate for him? That's not smart. But Trump did these things. The reality is it's an unusual presidential election in that you've actually had 4 years under both administrations. You had 4 years under Trump, you've had 4 years under Harris Biden. When were you better off? So bring it back, guys. It's all on you now. We're doing what we can. I'll be on the road. Bernie's on the road. Everyone's going to be on the road. We're going to work tirelessly. I did 7 events in Pennsylvania yesterday. If I can do that, I promise you it was much easier being a real estate developer from New York. The pay was a lot better than the zero I make in politics, other than, watching my family get shot at, demonized. I know, I've done 50 hours of testimony for treason, a crime punishable by death, before various bodies of Congress. And I understand that I am not the upstanding citizen that Hunter Biden is. I know. True story, right? I mean, understand that. We have to overwhelm it. To win by 1, we have to win by 5. We have to make it too big to rig. And you guys are a part of that. So I can know what I'm doing. You guys can call your friends. You can drive them to the polls. You can make sure they vote. I get it again. It's hard. If they're not paying attention, they may actually believe the nonsense on the news. You know, I get it. It's easy to get lazy. It's easy to succumb to that. Seems like a very reasonable individual over there. So you can have people like that, which is basically the Harris. That'd be like the cabinet. Insane lunatics. Or you can have real Americans. Hard-working patriots. For the next week, you function like you're the third monkey in line for the ark and it's starting to rain. You get engaged, you get involved, and whatever you would do if you woke up on November 6th with Kamala Harris as president-elect, whatever you would do to get a mulligan if that happened, you do it now, and you help be a part of saving your country. Thank you, Ohio. Vote party, vote for Trump, straight ticket Republican. Get out there, guys, and do it.
Like when I walk back into my high school.
Yeah.